Okay, this is try two. Um, you can tell I'm a little bit. I feel good, like my energy feels good, but I'm a little bit tired. Um, but a lot of us are experiencing a lot of fatigue, and you're getting me like this tonight, okay? And it's really actually interesting that I'm doing this live, this specific topic about getting real with self-love, your weight and your worth, and body talk, and how we talk to our bodies, and how we're supposed to talk to our bodies versus how we actually do talk to our bodies. And supposed to has become like the big thing with the self-love movement, right? Like, I'm supposed to love myself, I'm supposed to talk well, and yet when we are alone, and sometimes even with friends, we're still not, maybe we're not as bad as we used to be, but we're still not great. And so it's interesting because I've been feeling so fluffy lately, right? Just like, oh my God. Like, even though I'm exercising and I'm eating healthy, my body just feels fluffy. And so, in that space, I was sharing with a friend who is feeling frustrated about her own, number on the scale. And I said, but isn't it beautiful that the invitation can be loving yourself in this moment, even feeling fluffy? It's funny. What's that saying? When it rhymes, it's real. And I'm bringing this up because not only did it come up within my own field, within my own field, being like my own mind, my own heart, my own just everything, but it also came up with a client, actually a couple clients, and then my friends. And so my client, before I closed our call last week, I said, what else would you like to bring to the table? Like, what else do you need guidance? And she was like, I really need to lose some weight, right? Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with the desire to lose weight. It was the energy in which she shared it. And so, we kind of went into it. And there's still this essence of tying her worth to her weight. Facebook is just timing me out like crazy, and it's fairly frustrating. So I apologize if it's like, if you're seeing me and then not seeing me, and then seeing me and then not seeing me. Because it's not showing me anybody's running live, and usually you guys love to join me live. So anyways, I'm just going to rock and roll, and if anything, I'll just save this live and post it as a video later. But women men too, right? Like, nobody's immune to this feeling of tying our worth to our weight. And so I shared with her too the same invitation I shared with my friend, which was the same invitation that I received from spirit, from my guides, from my higher self, from all of it. Spirit being, I refer to spirit as like God, right? And the all-loving. And the invitation is, can you feel your worth, how worthy you are now, despite feeling like extra fluffy and kind of like not maybe where you normally like to sit weight-wise on the scale of the weight scale of life, right? Like, it's a number reflecting back at you. And of course we always hear that, right? It's just a number, it's just a number. Well, we make the number mean something, and that's also okay. And one thing my friend said, she said, but I'm just having a really hard time liking that number that she saw on the scale. And I said, but you don't have to like it, right? Like, I think it's in the trying to like a number that doesn't feel resonant for your body weight. That feedback doesn't feel in alignment with where she'd like to be and where she'd like to go. So I said, you don't have to like it, but resisting it is where it's going to continue to create this feeling of inadequacy and like you're not worthy. So what if you acknowledge that you don't like it? This is not my favorite number. And did the work around really feeling your worth and loving yourself, despite the fact that you may feel like you're carrying extra weight, despite the fact that you may feel fluffy, despite the fact that you like, whatever, might be breaking out, right? And so we're tying so much of our external world still we are, to our looks. And looks are fun, right? What we were given, this human skin, it's fun. And it's also sometimes really fucking uncomfortable. And that experience gets to be okay. A huge part of the main reason, I guess, I didn't create the human race, but is for us to be here is to experience our bodies. And so And if you're just tuning in, say hello. Go back and start to watch from the beginning, because you'll understand why I'm sharing what I'm sharing around how we're still tying our worth to our weight. And I'm gonna go deeper into this in my program Awaken. If you join my program Awaken, we're gonna spend an entire week themed based on rewriting the patterns of where your self-love is now, and not just like self-love like, oh, I love myself, but where you're still putting your worth and your power outside of yourself, where you're still feeling like the way that you look or feel in your skin is what is making you worthy of receiving whatever it is, right? Attention, love, money, sex, the things that we want out of life, right? And so if you feel like you're carrying extra weight, or you're feeling fluffy, you're feeling uncomfortable, or you're feeling like, right, I'm breaking out, whatever it is, can you accept the invitation that you get to love you through this? And it doesn't mean that loving yourself through this, you accept that this is gonna be, you're gonna feel this way forever, right? But what it does mean is you begin to shift the talk that you have. And so as I'm talking with my client around her weight, and she's feeling overweight, and she's just like, I just, like she just was so disgusted with herself. And hey Yvette, hey Rachel, hey Lakeisha. And that's not helping, right? Our words. So part of what I put in this title was body talk, because our words very much create our reality. And so if when we're feeling like we're carrying extra weight, or we're breaking out, or we're just feeling uncomfortable, like ugh, and we're making that mean something about our worth and our ability to show up, then the way that we're talking about ourselves, or even the way we're talking about our food and what we're intaking, right? Because everything we speak out, and if we speak it into our food, into our water, we ingest that same energy, right? Hey, hello. Facebook has been like cutting me off, and now all of a sudden a bunch of you joined. So welcome. If you're just joining, say hello. I'd love to say hello. If you're watching the replay, just hashtag replay. But I would recommend going back to the beginning and listening to why I decided to share about this topic, because so many of us, myself included, which is why I was like, it's really interesting that I'm here in my sports bra and sweats and my scrunchie, because I too have been feeling really like fluffy, and then like for quite a while now, on and off, and realizing that, oh, I still think that I'm only worthy when I'm like lean, mean, CrossFit Fallon. And that's just not going to be me anymore, for many reasons that I don't need to go into. And I will always love CrossFit. It will always be part of my life. But doing the deeper work the last few months around where am I still putting my worth in things outside of myself, right? So I've led myself through that. And now I'm just like, I love me. And you can love you, right? We can love ourselves. The self-movement says love yourself. And we can still have this feeling of not enoughness, have this feeling of, I wish my stomach were different. I wish my legs were different. And then use that talk to only see that which we are carrying that isn't enough, right? Like the parts of ourselves that we don't like, versus focusing, right? Focus on, I actually really love how strong my arms are. I really love like the physical aspects. And then who are you being as a person? Can you love that as well? And then be grateful that your body gets to house the experience that you're having. So if you're a mother and you get to experience being a mother, and you get to experience holding your child, can you let yourself focus on that energy and not the energy of I'm 10 pounds, 15, 20 pounds overweight? It doesn't mean that you don't shift that, and it doesn't mean that you don't make healthier choices. But what it does mean is that you don't take away from the experience that you're having now and the enjoyment that's available now, because you're so kind of like enveloped in this feeling of like, ugh, I feel fluffy, I feel bloated, I feel broken out, and I don't feel good, right? And because we can get in this spiral of negative talk in that same space, right? And so this is sometimes where I feel like the self-love movement has failed. Yes, make time for yourself. Yes, if you're a bath taker, take your baths. If you like your manis and your petties, yes, by all means, get your massages, do all the things. Absolutely take care of you, nourish you. And you've got to nourish yourself through your words, through your actions, through your energy as well. right? And so when you're starting to realize that you're shrinking or you're playing small, because you don't feel like you did 5 years ago, right? Or you don't feel whatever. And it's always related to like our weight. And so when you're placing your worth, hey Viola, when you're placing your worth in the way that you think you should look, and you're right, when we place our worth in that, then we're actually disconnected deeply from loving ourselves, from truly loving ourselves. Because I could take a bubble bath every single night, but if I get out and I look at myself in the mirror and I comment on how small my boobs are, A cups, and I comment that I'm carrying extra cellulite on my legs, I'm still a little bit disconnected. And that gets to be okay. That can be my experience, but can I be present with it? And can I move through the resistance of not wanting to love that part of myself and be rebellious enough to be like, okay, I am going to love myself because I get to run around with Nova, right? And then starting to shift the way that you speak. So like I said earlier, our words carry energy, right? And if you're eating food and you automatically feel like, I shouldn't be eating this is going to be bad for me, a moment on the lips is a lifetime on the hips, then that's the experience that you ingest, right? Everything is energy. So starting to shift that. And like I said, so in my program Awaken, we're going to be going a lot deeper into this, and you get to have me hold your hand through this. And I have so much education and experience more than anything like in nutrition, in coaching, in the way the body moves. And part of my brilliance is that I can feel what you're carrying within your vessel, like where are you carrying this heaviness, right? And so in my program Awaken, it's a 10-week program. Message me if you'd like to apply for it. This is going to be one of the weekly themes that we go into, because I truly believe that I can teach you and we can guide you through all kinds of things like inner child and shadow work, and we can do the deep healing of the traumatic events that you've experienced. And I do this all the time with my clients. And if you're still disconnected from your body, there's going to be a lack of being able to receive and fully feel the healing trying to come up. So I brought in a very important, and then the theme of that week is actually called Getting Real with Self-Love, because we're going to dissect all the parts that you secretly, when you're by yourself, you feel like you're not enough. You feel like, this could be better. Well, I love myself. I have a great, like outwardly you say that, but when you're alone, there might be some different feelings about it. And the invitation of whatever it is that you're experiencing, right? That if you feel like you're like some girls, and men too, feel like they're too skinny and that bothers them. The too skinny, the overweight, the breaking out, all of that, letting that be the invite that you are there to do some worthiness work on yourself through this journey of where you want to go. Because we keep putting our power outside of ourselves, right? And putting our worth in other people's hands. If they notice me, if they say I'm pretty, then I'm good. I remember one time, and I'm getting ready to close off, but one time my friend George, I was in my 20s, I don't know, having like the time of my life, and he asked me one day, and he said, if you never received a compliment again on your beauty, would you have enough in your compliment bank to carry you through the rest of your life? And I was like, whoa, I don't know. I'm like in my early 20s. We thrive off of feedback, right? And I especially did, because I did not have a man around. So anytime men gave me and I mean man like a dad, my dad wasn't around, and the male figures that were in my life commented quite often on my weight, because I was never a small girl. I was never overweight, but I'm a muscular woman, and I always have been. And so I really sought after, and I really thrived on the feedback of men. And it didn't even matter if they were good men. It just, oh my God, a man thought I was pretty. Oh my God, a man thought I was sexy. Oh my God. And so when he posed this question to me, do you have enough in your compliment bank to carry you through for the rest of your life if nobody ever told you again that you were pretty? I honestly had to reevaluate some stuff in my life. And he was such a blessing, right? Because when I was doing soul work at a very young age, which is why he came into my life, as he was doing soul work as well. And so we got to have these really deep conversations to start to look at things in a different way. And so that's when I really began to dive into what would that feel like if I never received feedback from anybody else for the rest of my life? How can I feel that for myself, right? And that's the empowerment. That's the freedom. That's the freedom of filling this stuff for yourself. You fill your cup. And not because you're detaching and you're protecting and you're closing yourself off from the world, but because you're no longer waiting for the world to fill your cup, right? So I love you. I see you. I honor you. If this resonates with you, please share below or share this video if you think it's going to resonate with somebody else. And if you'd like to apply for my program Awaken, we start the week of 11/1/111, right after the full moon on Halloween, and the doors open then, and I would love to have you. I'm keeping the group very intimate, very small, because it's going to be a very high touch environment. You will have me through basically 2020, not all of 2021, but because it's 10 weeks, we go through the new year. So it's going to be epic. You will not be the same woman coming in and leaving. This is like almost something I can guarantee. If you show up and you do what I give you, and you trust yourself, the woman that you will leave being, who you are, like how the essence that you carry, it's going to be so powerful. And not because you don't already hold that within you, but because it's so layered up right now and covered and smeared with all the BS that everyone told you throughout your life, and all the BS beliefs that you felt like kept you safe, right? And I could go, that's a whole other topic I could get into, but that I don't want to get into. So I'm so excited about this program. And if you have any questions, message me too. If you're just like curious, you want to know what it is, just get in my DMs. I'm happy to chit chat back and forth and hold space for you and guide you. And I will talk to you all really soon. So much love. Have a beautiful Monday night. Bye.